Hi everyone, this is going to be a short video. I just watched Micon podcast with Seun and the Twitter celebrity called JJ OMOJUWA. And I was interested because when I came to watch, after seeing the snippets on Instagram, when I came to watch it on YouTube, I saw some people commenting, "Oh, this guy is intellectual, da 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 da. He's so smart." So I was paying close attention, while doing what I'm doing to sort of understand, how the conversation went. And I must first of all appreciate the guy for not throwing any personal jabs on the person of Mr. PTOB like Reno and the likes of them. He kept it political. He discussed politics. But this is where I have a problem with him. First of all, he accepted or agreed that he is a hypocrite. Now, if you agree that you're a hypocrite and say you distance yourself from Nigeria's politics, during Buhari's tenure, because of how things turned out against what you thought was going to be the reality, so why then are you still commenting? You see, sometimes people don't know how to actually stay clear. Because if you're supported or you are still supporting El Rufai, or you have a problem with the family, and now you are still supporting Tinubu, who is still abysmal, why then do you come out to say you want to support or you want to defend them? Because I don't see any difference between Buhari, El Rufai, or Tinubu. As a matter of fact, all of them are still APC, and all of them destroyed Nigeria. And he says if he wants to run for any political position, he's going to run it under APC. So first of all, I'm just dismissing the guy. Now, to some of the things he said, right? It was funny how Seun was, painfully sometimes watching these videos can be very painful, but I try to listen. I try to see if there's anything that they can say that can make sense, right? So he says, is there anything that Tinubu did that whether Atiku or PTOB would not have done? Now the question is, that question has been asked to PTOB or Atiku themselves. And the point still remains. It is not the first time of removing subsidy in Nigeria. Diesel had subsidy removed. Kerosene had had subsidy removed. Why then do you remove PMS the same way the way you didn't do it the same way you did for the others, which is diesel and kerosene? Why do you do it the way you did, which is what caused this inflation? If you watch the stock market, right, a president's statement, a president declaration, or even ordinary elections can affect the stock market. You can see what happened to Elon Musk with Trump. His shares appreciated, and when he fell out with the president, it depreciated. The market responds to political statements, political events, and all whatnot. Now, I don't see any magic Tinubu is going to do to sort of help the economy in my own analysis. Because the two big things that Buhari didn't have that he had was Dangote coming on stream, which is what we've been waiting for, and airpiece flying internationally. And those two things are giving us forex, which is probably why they are, having a few savings, in our foreign reserve. But even with that, I don't think the Naira is going to appreciate. And that is owing to the fact that Tinubu has done something that has cost us more than we have gained. You could have appreciated or done the same thing by, first of all, coming into power, setting up a cabinet, and doing these things slowly. Now, when it came to asking him question about Tinubu, he would give excuses. Say, oh, he said if he doesn't fix power in 4 years, we shouldn't vote for him in 2027. Now, his response to that is that, oh, that is, political statement. And he at least he was honest to say that he doesn't think it is achievable. But then he wants us, to look at that the same way that PTOB says it can only be in power for 4 years. That's not the same. The funny thing is that whenever you see people making arguments for APC, they keep telling you PTOB will not do any different. Are you PTOB? Have you seen him in power? Have you tested him? How do you know that the outcome is going to be the same? Is Tinubu a match for PTOB? Whether when he was in power as a governor or his integrity. This is a man that has never taken a penny as pension from Anambra State government against a man like Tinubu, who has ever relied on the heavy pension, not just for him, for his families, who is still collecting money from Alpha Beta and all of that. Even the house that he lives on, which is is it Bodilon or Bodville, whatever they call it, is still a Lagos state government property that was acquired by himself. PTOB built his own house, and I told you he has only one house in the whole Nigeria. How do you even compare these two people and then say the outcome is going to be the same? Doesn't make any sense. Now, remember I said, for him owning up that he's a hypocrite, I don't think, he has any standing to talk or decide or even predict Mr. PTOB in 2027. I think he just go and sit himself, because we all have a choice to make. Who we follow, who we support is our choice. So if you've been active on Twitter and you've had the audience or you've had the exposure, and then you somehow walked in the political corridor and then you've made your decision. There are people who had the same offer that you had who have turned it down. There are people like Mazi Tunde Not who they've been throwing a lot of money around and he has maintained his ground. You choose to accept. So you cannot come today and start saying any rubbish about, I'm a hypocrite. Oh, with Erufai, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And then with Tinubu, you cannot. You have to be somebody of integrity, which is one thing that we lack as Nigerians. We speak with two sides of our mouths. We are there for the economic reasons, and we pretend like we are not. You see that things are not going well, and what you can say is that our stocks are going up, this one is this one, international bodies are rating us that we are doing well. How is your own citizen faring? Yes, we might look good on paper, we might have all these records as you claim, but what is the condition of people in your country? How much are people buying data? How much are people buying food? How much is bread? Those are the things that are important. Now, against whatever he claimed, that the records are there, that Tinubu is doing well, what did PTOB say? PTOB said that this particular APC government under President Tinubu have made Nigeria to be rated as one of the hungriest nations of the world. A nation where people are more hungry. And this is OMOJUWA, JJ OMOJUWA claiming that the indices are saying that we are performing so well, that the stocks are... How does the stock getting better affecting the people who are suffering? PTOB has not benefited anything from government. Rather, he is using his own personal money. After doing the 2023 election, he is still using his own personal money to tour the whole country, giving out millions each week. Even your president, even your governors, even your senators don't give the amount of money an individual is using his own personal money to give. Yet, people that believe they are intellectual, that believe they are intelligent, that believe that they are exposed, can still not make a simple argument from two white and black colors. It beats my imagination. And then people want to go and use Lagos record to argue with you. What are you using Lagos record? The man is now the president of Nigeria. Tell us, what is he doing? He's a genius. It is this one, he's that one, he built this one. What is he doing now? Somebody said something that is quite funny. He said, oh, you claim he built Lagos, that Lagos is this, Lagos is that. Why hasn't he changed the water condition of Lagos? Why does Lagos still have smelly water? And I saw the post by one northerner saying, oh, they showed a picture of one place in Kebbi where the water is looking more muddy and whatever. Do you see what Mr. PTOB did in Anambra State? Did you see the water supply project that he did? How he provided water to meet the Millennium Development Goals of UN. We will see white, we will be calling white black. We will see black, we will be calling black gray. That is the problem I have with Nigerians. And most of them that claim that they are intelligent on Twitter are just nothing but people without integrity. Hypocrites. Now, the JJ OMOJUWA said, oh, everybody is a hypocrite. Everybody is not a hypocrite. Stop that. You see, when the devil wants to deceive you, he tell you everybody is a sinner. It's a lie. There are people who are righteous. There are people who have right standing. There are people that even just that simple word of saying you are a hypocrite, they will be sacked from government. There are places you walk, you cannot be dubious. You cannot be a judge and be a hypocrite. There are places you have to be close to a saint to do some... See, it is only in Nigeria that we make excuses for rubbish. Now, you are defending the electoral prowess of somebody like Tinubu without mentioning of the works of Yakubu Mahmood or the failures of the system in conducting a free, fair, credible election. How many of you APC people are even attributing that, okay, oh, we have managed to do things in line with how things are supposed to be done legally? That we have followed the INEC guidelines of IREF portal? No, you are always claiming, oh, it's going to be a power of incumbent. The incumbent always win. Making rob. See, this is your future. This is your future we're talking about. You see a man that you know definitely can deliver. A man that tells you that oil is a diminishing asset. A man that tells you we need to go into production. Then your argument is that all the big countries of the world consume. Who is arguing whether you consume or you don't consume? The problem is that people are hungry. What does hunger mean? Hunger means they don't have enough to consume. But the problem is, do you produce to meet what you need to consume? That is the question. Even Bodebo, the former governorship aspirant, gubernatorial aspirant of Lagos, was telling you that containers that come into Lagos leave empty. What do you export? Those big economies that you say consume a lot, do they export a lot too? That is the question. If you don't export, how would you get forex? If you don't export, how would you make money? It's called bilateral trade. Nigeria, it is one-sided. We don't have anything to export. Is it not common sense? Ha! Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I'm just tired. Anybody APC brings on board, is very detrimental to logic for you to support APC because there's nothing to support with. You are abasing GDP. You have the worst record. Inflation is still high. What exactly are you going to say you are proud of? There's nothing to be proud of in the current day APC's record. There's nothing to be proud of in the economic situation of the country. So speak to power and say what it is that you have the right, like Onobasa, to say, no, this president, this administration is failed, that they're not working. You have to put the record straight. You cannot be, as a young man, be criticizing and be okay. You are accusing PTOB that he's going back to the old order and he has not shaken a few hands. Sometimes when these young people talk, I start asking myself, are they really supporting the old order? Are they supporting how status quo is? Or are they trying to challenge the system and bring in a new system? Because again, I don't understand. They've managed to divide them, against each other. And they play us by using some of us against us. And you see people like Sheila, you see people like Reno, you see people like Daniel Bola. They make a mess of the whole situation. What exactly are you trying to prove? That our stocks are doing well. How much is bread? How much is food? How much is fuel? I saw a post by Dangote that Dangote is requesting on one of the blogs that Dangote is requesting for imports of fuel to be restricted, and I appreciate that. I think Nigeria should do that. Yes, you have a refinery, you have natural resources. Why are you going to buy fuel? Why are you going to import fuel? Why are you importing all these resources when you have it yourself and you can refine? If they really mean well, but no, because of their dubious trades and businesses in Malta and other places, they won't. Instead of people to speak truth to power, to say things that need to be said, we need to fix INEC. We need to fix electoral reform. We need to cap the campaign spending. Nigeria spends a lot of money on campaign, $20,000 per delegate, sharing money to people just to win election. All those things are the problem. When politicians get into power, they do what? They have to steal more money to be able to run for the next election. If we cap our spending for parties and say, okay, every party, the maximum you can spend on any election is 50 million, then everything will be fair. Anybody can run an election and win if you have what it takes. But when you keep making it extremely difficult, pressing the cost of, we saw what Alibaba said, how much it costs to win a senatorial zone or to win governorship in some states. And that's just the money to be able to even give you the ticket. You will still have to spend campaigning money. It is outrageous for a poor country like Nigeria. And these are what are the shackles that are holding us down. But you see people that claim to be intelligent, when they come up, they are still supporting Tinubu, saying, oh, he cannot fix it for 4 years, but he has to say it now because he wants to win election. What is the logic? And you claim you are using logic. There's no logic you are using. You're just mesmerizing yourself. Shut up if you don't know what to say. Go back inside like you did before during Buhari's time. There's nothing. Tinubu is not any better than Buhari. People are suffering more. People are suffering more. Jesus Christ.